This podcast is brought to you by sleepyj.com/beats. If you need a beat for your next album, mixtape, or demo project, check out sleepyj.com/beats. That's SLEEPEJ.com/beats. Warning, this podcast may offend some people unintentionally. So if you get offended easily, you are advised to turn off now. And if you're still here listening, thanks and enjoy the show. What's up with the world? It's your boy CBJ. You tuned in to Sleep Talkin Podcast. I appreciate each and every single one of you guys. Thank you for checking me out. It is the very first episode of 2019 where I will be doing my audio and video version. So if you guys are watching me on YouTube, I appreciate it. On Sleep Vision, on my Sleep Vision channel. You know, that's where I'm posting all these. It's where I post any video that I do. Music video, freestyle videos, anything that Sleepy J is doing visually, it goes on the Sleep Vision YouTube channel. Audio-wise, if you're listening to me or streaming me from whatever platform you like to listen to your podcast, whether that's Apple Music, Google Podcast, I don't know, there's a bunch of them. I can't name them all. But anyways, so I am here. I am recording this on Sunday night, mostly because it's going to be hard for me to do these videos and have them up and ready to go on Tuesdays. Because usually when I used to record them on Tuesday, or record my audio on Tuesdays, I'm not really one for editing. Even with these, I'm not going to be doing a whole lot of cutting and chopping and trying to make it all flow. I'm just going to kind of set the camera up, got my microphone, we're going to record myself, and then however it comes out, it comes out. So with that being said, hopefully you guys aren't looking for great quality, at least right now. I'm still a one-man show, so figuring it all out, figuring out how to do it. But anyways, with that being said, it's Sunday night for me, and I'm going to cover as much as I can that's happened in the week up until now. But with that being said, you know, we're going to get into this episode. This is episode 35 for me, for all my podcast followers and listeners. I appreciate you guys. I see the numbers growing, so continue to share the love and support. With that being said, let's get into this. This week, Ellen had Kevin Hart on the Ellen show, and she told him how she wanted him to host the awards, the ones that he got kicked off of a little while back for all of his gay jokes that he had done and he had apologized for, and then still apologized, and he still decided to step down from it. She pretty much told him he deserved to be doing that. I know that a lot of people still don't think he should be doing it, so she's being attacked right now by the LGBTQ community. They're attacking her, saying that, you know, that she was being insensitive to them, all that stuff. If you guys want to look into it, you can look into it. I'm just kind of letting you guys know that's what's been going on. If you guys don't know, Tiffany Haddish bombed on New Year's Eve. She said that she kind of got too fucked up too soon, and she apologized for that. One of my favorite things that happened this week, I thought it was hilarious when I seen it. I actually seen it come on my Instagram feed. And then the person, I was trying to share it with some people, but I couldn't because the person that had it as, they had a private account, so you could only do it if you were friends with them. So I actually had to go onto YouTube, find it. I got on there, I started commenting on this video. But the video was a Florida customer got his ass beat by a employee at a McDonald's. Now, he grabbed her by the shirt. I don't know what happened that led up to it, but he grabbed her by the shirt, like one-handed. He kind of grabbed her to snatch her, and I think he was just trying to snatch her up to intimidate her, but he didn't realize that she was a boxer. And now, if you guys don't know, she gave him them hands. Like, she gave him, like, all the combinations that you could want in a motherfucking. This shit was hilarious. She didn't even waste no time. As soon as he grabbed her, she just started throwing them hands like boom, 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 boom. Fuck that dude up. Anyways, I commented on it saying how, why did he ask for a refund? People commenting, liking the comment, whatever. And they were, because he demanded she got fired, and then he also asked for a refund. I just thought it was funny because after you just got your ass whooped, you be like, I want a refund? Like, dude, do you not realize you were in the wrong before that? But the shit was funny. So I commented, left this comment, right? Somebody else was saying, you know, he got all the change, he got all the combos that weren't on the menu, this and that. It was a funny exchange. I was having fun with it. Somebody came on there and actually came at me sideways like, I understand self-defense, but she was acting like a wild baboon. And it took everything inside me not to comment back, because I really wanted to engage and be like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? She was like a 5 foot nothing, 100-pound soaking wet female. This guy was probably I mean, he probably wasn't too tall. He was probably like 5'8", probably weighed about 200 pounds. He wasn't a big person in general, but he was still bigger, and he was a male, and she was at work, and there's no reason for you to grab nobody while they're working like the way he did. He was trying to intimidate her. He just caught the right one that taught him a very valuable lesson. You keep your hands to yourself unless you want to catch them hands. She wasn't a dainty little, I'm afraid little girl. She just started throwing them hands. I'm talking about full on. She was throwing them motherfuckers. Like, I'm talking, she was putting weight behind them. It hurt him so much that he grabbed her with a second hand, I know that second hand was just a reflex to grab her and hopefully try and get her under control, but she did not stop until he completely let go. At one point, she did grab him so she could connect a little bit better, but again, as soon as he let go, she stopped. So I don't think that she was in the wrong. I don't think that it was a problem that needed to be taken any further as far as for like saying that it went too far. I don't think she was in the wrong for saying, as far as for like calling her, a wild boon or any wild animal, or saying that she took it too far. She was simply defending herself. She was at work. She might have, she was still flying off the handle, talking a little bit of shit, but at the end of the day, he grabbed her. He was in the wrong. He should not have been putting his hands on that young lady. And, so to whoever that person was, like, you really got to reevaluate yourself. I really wanted to engage, but I was like, I'm not going to argue with you. You don't know me. I don't know you. I don't know if you're a racist, but I would venture to say if you felt like she was in the wrong, she went too far, you're probably a racist. Because again, if it was my sister, I would hope my sister would respond like that. If it was my mother, I would hope she would respond like that. She didn't stop until she was no longer in danger. And I actually think that the manager wasn't shit, because he came up like, oh, where's your receipt? Well, how can I fix this? Whatever. Like, no, first of all, when I used to do food, when I worked in the food industry and I was a manager, if somebody came at my employees sideways like that, just yelling at my employees, not even put their hands on them, I would have been like, excuse me, you can't talk to my employee like that. If you got a problem, you can talk to me. You can yell at me all you want, but you're not going to talk to my employees like that. And if there's a problem with my employee, I will address my employee, not the other way around. You don't work here. You don't talk to my employees sideways. You got an issue, you ask for the manager, you let the manager handle the situation. That's the way I believe it. So I think he wasn't shit because he came up like, go to the back and whatever. Like, no. I would have been telling them they would have had me on camera giving him them hands for putting his hands on one of my employees personally. But anyways, all that being said, people are fucking crazy out here. Like, I can't believe you guys would even say, like, anyone would say that she went too far. It's fucking crazy. And anybody that thinks that was okay as a manager, maybe I'm a little bit older. Maybe I've been around the block one or two times, and I know how to handle myself, and maybe he didn't. Maybe he was kind of scared because he never seen no shit like that before. But nonetheless, she gave him them hands. I thought it was the funniest thing I seen. Me and my coworkers was laughing about it, talking about like all the like just he got a refund with them hands, and he learned a special lesson about how keeping your hands. Like, we just made a bunch of stupid puns about him getting that ass whooped. But moving on, if you guys, I'm a the Dallas Cowboys fan. I told you I follow the NFL during the fantasy league season. Fantasy league's over, but now we're in the playoffs. I am supporting my Dallas Cowboys. I told you I was out whenever they had lost 5 games, but until the playoffs, we made it to the playoffs, so it's official. We there. If you guys don't know, I'm not going to go down the whole list and tell you guys all the scores and, my analysis on all of them. What I am going to tell you is Dallas Cowboys beat the Seattle Seahawks 24-22. It was close. I'm not going to lie to you. I was kind of like, please don't let them get this onside kick at the last second. because it would have made it very difficult for us to hold them to it. But it was a great game. It was very close. The defense was shutting down the offense all game first half. The Seahawks just had a few lucky plays that kept them in there. I do want to say that I think their kicker is faking that injury once he's seen that he shanked that, like, I think it was like a 50 or 60 yard, maybe even less, but he shanked a kick that was supposed to just like kind of tie up the game. And as soon as I think he realized that he had shanked it, he like grabbed his hamstring, like, oh my God, I just pulled a muscle, whatever. That's the way it looked to me. Me and my brother and my nephew, we were watching the game. We seen him kick it, and he was like, whoa, oh, it's missing. Oh, my calf. Oh my God. Oh, he fell to the ground, whatever. I was like, yo, he was faking that. Like, he honestly thought that he got that. And then once he realized it wasn't going to go to keep his job or to keep everybody from being on his ass, he acted like he caught an injury. I thought that shit was fucking hilarious. The Eagles, the only reason I'm talking about the Eagles is they're part of the NFC East, and they somehow or another they squeaked into the wild card 2. They made it into the playoffs. They played against the Chicago Bears. It was 16-15, a very close game again there. So the next couple weeks, next week is going to be a difficult week in the football playoffs. Like, again, there's 2 other games going on, AFC and all that. I'm not worried about the AFC. I'm trying to get them Cowboys to the Super Bowl. So until we get to the Super Bowl, we're going to talk about this. Anyways, with that being said, the Cowboys have to go against the LA Rams. And if you guys don't know, I'm from St. Louis, so there's a bitterness to the Rams no longer being in St. Louis, but I was never a Rams fan. For the record, I was never a Rams fan. I was always a Dallas Cowboys fan since the 90s. Sorry to date myself, but I grew up in the 90s when the Cowboys were the shit. I was still a Cowboys fan in the 2000s all the way till now. I'm trying to get a new Super Bowl under that fucking title. But anyways, so they're going to be playing against the Rams, and I think, in my personal opinion, from the way I've been watching football in this last year, I think the Cowboys have a very talented young squad. I think if they can make it to a Super Bowl, they got a very good shot to do like multi-years, like two years back-to-back, maybe even a 3-year. I mean, they could be a really good team because they're still very young all the way around. They got young offense, young defense. They're still building up their team. So we don't know what they could do. I know we're going to be shelling out a lot of money in the next year or two with, the quarterback and the running back, and contracts are going to be ending because they all got picked up very early on. But with that being said, with this season, this week we got the Rams. The Rams had an immaculate season. And I said it probably 2 years ago. I was like, their defense is on point. Their offense wasn't there 2 years ago, but their defense is on point. And then last year, their defense really got on point, was really good. Their offense started kind of clicking last year. And so this year I was watching the Rams. Like, I would like them to get a Super Bowl, just because they just moved to LA, and I know it would piss off a lot of St. Louis Rams fans because they were so horrible the last few years that they were here. But I don't want them to win over the Cowboys. It's not going to happen. I will never root for them over my Cowboys. With that being said, I think the Cowboys have a better defense than they do now. And I think their offense is really good, but I don't know that they're better than our defense, and I don't know that their offense is necessarily better than us because we've done some changes throughout this year to become a better team. Now, they might play better collectively. As a collective unit, I think they might be more gelled as a team. They know what they're doing. But as an organization, the Rams might be a little bit more cohesive than the Cowboys, because again, I think we have a very young team. We're replacing linemen that it's their first year. They're replacing vets that are hurt for whatever reason. Some of our veteran players have moved from one team to another, or whatever the case is. We've made a lot of changes. Now we have a young team that's their first year together. Some people have been here for a couple years, and they're still they're getting into the hot waters that they're not necessarily used to. So because they might have some advantage of more veteran players that have played together on the Rams, they might be more seasoned and ready to go, and that might be their advantage. But I think overall, the Cowboys, it's a young, thriving team that if we don't make it this year, in the next couple years, I've been feeling for the last, we're due. I haven't been. I think since 2010, I think we've had a couple teams that were like, we're really there. The talent is there. It's just a matter of, I don't know if it's the coaching that's been the problem. I don't know what exactly has been the problem. I mean, I personally blame Jerry Jones for every time that it goes back, because I think Jerry Jones is more of a coach as far as for the game personnel. I think Jerry Jones is more involved in picking the players and keeping who's keeping and who's not going. And I think that's what really messes us up more than anything. But, once we get to the playoffs, I don't know if it's Jerry or if it's Jason Garrett or not. But we're in the playoffs. We made it through the first round. We're trying to make it through the second round. I think we got what it takes to beat the Rams. I'm hoping we beat the Rams next week. And as far as for the Eagles, I'm kind of on the fence. So the Eagles got to play the Saints, and the Saints are a motherfucker. Drew Brees, I have a theory that if Drew Brees makes it to the Super Bowl and he wins this year, he retires, because I think he wants to retire on top. I could be wrong, but I think he's hitting 40. He's hitting that threshold. But, I mean, he's been balling all fucking season. He's got a fucking great running team. He's got a great receiving core. So, like, he's killer. But I know he doesn't have a defense necessarily. So we'll see how that goes. And I think that's kind of where the Rams are too. They don't have a defense. So the way I look at this is when you're looking at these teams, like some teams have a really good offense, no defense. Some teams have a really good defense, no offense. I think where we fall, like the Dallas Cowboys fall, is they have a really good defense and a good offense. They're not great. They're still learning. They're still figuring it out. So they're good. Maybe a little bit better than average, but not a whole lot. I'm not a big Dak fan in general, but that's besides the point. Anyways, all these other teams, I think they have a great offense, great receivers, great running backs. But their defenses, they're just kind of they're good enough. They're not great. So it's interesting. I'm rooting for my Cowboys. I hope they make it. I kind of want to see the Eagles knock out the Saints, just because I don't want to see the Cowboys have to go after beating the Rams, and then they have to beat the Saints, which both teams have great records. I think they both ended the season with like a 14-3 record or something like that. They were close to the same record. So I don't want to have to play them both back to back when they've had such a great season behind them. And we've beat the Eagles twice already this season, and they're division rivals. They're in the NFC East conference or division, and that's we always got to play them. And I think that they've beat them twice, so why can't they beat them a third time? But I honestly don't think that the Saints will lose to the Eagles, and we'll see what it looks like for the Cowboys and the Rams. But yeah, so it's an exciting time for me as a Cowboys fan, as a football fan, to see this play out. I am worried about them Colts. If you don't know, the Colts have they balled their ass off, damn near shut out the Texans, and the Texans were like the silent assassins. They made it all the way to the playoffs, and nobody was even paying attention to them. And the Colts kind of just warmed up out of nowhere. Like they had an okay season, and all of a sudden they just started taking off towards the end of the season. So I'm kind of worried about them. Kansas City is a team that, again, the three teams that I think have solid runs, that they had solid runs all season, was Kansas City, New Orleans, and the LA Rams. They all had great seasons, pretty much almost made it through the season undefeated for, they went a few weeks, all of them went undefeated for a few weeks until they met up with a few people. So, football, man, it's my favorite time of year, and only other sport I really like to talk about is boxing besides that, and there hasn't been a boxing match since Canelo a couple weeks ago. All right, guys, with that being said, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes of the episode. We're going to talk about this fucking docuseries, Surviving R. Kelly, because I know it's the hot topic. Everybody's talking about it. All I can see on my Twitter, on my on all my social media is like, even on my YouTube, it's starting to bleed over. People talking about so-and-so's response to R. Kelly's Surviving R. Kelly. So-and-so said this about it. So we're going to talk about it. Here is my take on the situation. I grew up, I loved R. Kelly's music in the 90s, going into the 2000s. He had some really big songs that were really big on the radio. It was good times. But I was a kid then. I didn't really know much about things as far as I do now. Like, I've learned some things, I've heard some things, I've seen some things. And I used to joke whenever this video that R. Kelly did in the early 2000s, I think it was like 2002 it came out, with a underage girl. And whenever it was the fact that she was an underage girl, and because I was a kid, I was immature, I didn't know, I used to joke, like, R. Kelly's been telling us for years he's been hooking up with young girls through his music, with writing songs like Age Ain't Nothing But a Number, with marrying Aaliyah, and he had, what else did he do? That one song that had the, I Don't See Nothing Wrong with a Little Bump and Grind, and, that one song that he had where he goes, my mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yes. I was like, those are subliminal things. The Pied Piper of R&B. The Pied Piper, the story of the Pied Piper was a man who played a flute or a piccolo or some sort of instrument, a wind instrument, and lured the kids away from the town. So a lot of subliminal things that you could look into and be like, he's been telling us all these years through all of his music. And so for that reason, I didn't, I was too young to really know about the Aaliyah situation. And then when the video came out, I was like, it's a first time accusation, and everyone as a whole kind of left it alone. Like, one time you messed up, you hopefully learn your lesson, you don't do it again. That's the way it was perceived to me at that time. But now we're looking at it, and he's still getting underage girls, which, first of all, I don't know why an underage girl is even entertained by him, because who the fuck knows who R. Kelly is in 2018, 2019, to be thinking like, oh my God, R. Kelly. R. Kelly hasn't had a song that was relevant since Trapped in the Closet, which came out, in 2007, 2008, something like that. Like, why is he even... Like, I don't understand why they even know who he is, or why they even care to want to work with, to get a career or a song with them or anything, like whatever bullshit he tries to tell them. So, and I think parents probably were, I don't know. I have no idea what parents' mind frame of letting a 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 17-year-old girl go out with R. Kelly. I don't. For a 17-year-old, I know, at least in the state of Missouri, I know that's considered legal. She can do what she wants. That's not a whole lot a parent can do. But, and I know it's different in every state, so take that up with your state officials with that. But overall, my situation, like, after last year's accusations and more people came out about this, I decided I cannot in good conscience listen to these songs knowing that R. Kelly is not an accused person or even beat a case of this, but has multiple scenarios of being with underage girls. And there's multiple stories coming out throughout the years with people that have interviewed him and asked him questions, and he's gotten all bent out of shape over it without explaining himself or saying you can't say that, or he hid behind my lawyer told me I can't talk about that. So I personally took it upon myself to say, like, I will not support this man. And I say that if you have a CD or a tape or a record and you still listen to that, that's one thing I could see why you would listen to it, because he's not getting paid off that. But today I have subscriptions. I have Google Music or Google Play. I have Apple Music. I have Spotify. I can listen to his music off of them, but I choose not to listen to that because he gets paid every time I listen to it. So he is not on any of my playlists no more. He is not anywhere in my music because of that. He will not benefit off of my dollar again. Anything I paid for beforehand, fuck it, I paid for it. If I want to listen to it again, I will. He's not getting paid for it. But for him to continue to make money off of me today, he will not. And I'm not going to get all butthurt if somebody listens to it in my presence. You know, I don't care if you listen to it, we're at a party, the song comes on and whatever. Hey, nostalgia, it's a good song, whatever. I understand it. It's just me personally will not play that in my car. I will not play it on my phone. I will not do none of that. And it's just my personal preference. Now, me personally, I listen to a lot of, every artist, from what I can tell, has some sort of past. You know, do you want to support a drug dealer? Is that a part of your moral compass that you don't want to listen to? Is somebody that's beat women? Dr. Dre supposedly beat a bunch of women. Do you quit listening to him because he did, or do you say like, well, I separate it? Me personally, I take everything on a case by case situation, I just can't, in good conscience, listen to this. I can separate the art from the personal things to a degree. Again, a one-time deal, I can walk away like, it was a one-time, a one and done, I made a mistake, whatever. But a constant pattern. We're talking almost 40 years. We've been hearing rumors of this guy going to places where there's young girls, picking them up and keeping them for himself. We're talking about his ex-wife is starting to say stuff. We're talking about ex-girlfriends that was like, oh, I was a radio DJ and he kept me do whatever. It's a pattern. He is a monster from what I can hear and see, and I personally will not support him. I hope you guys choose not to. That is my personal opinion. That is the way I see it. It is 100% up to you guys. I'm not going to police you guys. I don't care. It's just what my personal opinion is. It's my personal point of view of it is. I hope that you guys can make your own decisions. I have not watched this docuseries. I was told about it. I've seen a few things, little clips here and there, but I haven't been able to sit down and actually watch it, mostly because all my media that I consume comes off of streaming. I don't have cable to watch it, so I'm going to have to watch it off someone else that bootlegged it on there for me to watch it. Or I'm going to have to watch it at someone else's house whenever I do catch it. But it's from what I understand, it sounds horrible. I've heard his wife saying she was hogtied and left there while he went to sleep. He choked her out in the backseat of a truck. Some horrible things. Like I said, I can't personally support the man no more. I hope you guys can make an educated opinion on your own. I'm not here to influence you guys. I'm just telling you my personal opinion. I don't have any new music to tell you guys to check out. I will tell you guys, if you guys have not checked out the Meek Mill album, Champions, super dope. Check out the Snow the Product, Vibe Higher mixtape. Buy it, stream it, whatever the case is. I stream it damn near every day. That's what I'm listening to right now. With that being said, man, it's episode 35. Follow me on all my social medias at SleepyJ on Twitter. That's SLEEP_E_J. Follow me on Instagram at SleepyJ. That's all one word, SLEEPEJ. Also, if you guys want to show support for my podcast, please go to anchor.fm/Sleep Talkin Podcast. Hit the support button. Pick your tier on how you want to support us. $1.99, 99 cents, $9.99. I don't remember all of them. Whatever the case is, if you want to support the podcast, I appreciate it. Again, this is my very first episode on visual. I hope you guys liked it on there. I'm still figuring out my lighting and figuring out how I'm going to do this, but I hope you guys are enjoying it there. If you guys want to see me do this and you guys are listening to this on audio, you can check it out on Sleep Vision on YouTube. That is where I have all my videos. With all that being said, guys, I am out of here. I salute you guys, sending you guys with nothing but peace, positivity, prayers, positive lights, good energy, all that good stuff. Until next time, take it easy.